this morning. In studio with me, Tim Farrell, David Stillwell. These guys are open carry proponents. I'm going right to your calls, I promise. 257-KDWN, 257-5396. Stan, welcome to the Heidi Harris Show.
Hey, I just want to applaud these guys. I think they're doing, a great job. I can't believe that you say they're antagonizing cops for exercising their constitutional rights within federal and state law. I mean, are you a Republican, Heidi, or just a, Democrat and Republican clothing?
But no, I understand it's their right. If the cops...
Well, then why is that antagonizing them, exercising their rights? They have the legal right under federal and state law, and they should be able to exercise them without being harassed by cops.
Well, yeah, but what if you're crazy and the cop has a question about your mental health and whether or not you should even have that gun?
What if this? What if that? What if somebody's this? What if somebody... That does not fall into the constitutional right, federal and state right, to legally open carry their firearms.
I understand that, but let's say, for example, somebody went into an elementary school, God forbid, and shot up a bunch of kids, and 5 minutes before he'd been walking down the street with a gun, and a cop saw him and didn't stop him.
Do you really think that for 1 minute, somebody who's intending to commit a crime is going to open carry and advertise it?
Well, sometimes they do.
No, come on. Why? How are you self-conservative?
I believe in your right to open carry. I'm not arguing with that. I just don't understand when somebody pulls you over, why it's not yes, sir, yes, ma'am, get about your business. This is a deal. I have this right.
State. It's not a police state. They don't.
I didn't say it was a police state. Stan, I didn't say it was a police state. You have a problem. If a cop pulls you over, a cop shouldn't be able to ask you why you have the gun?
Not unless they have probable cause.
Okay, well, that's what these guys say. I wanted to get your comments, and I appreciate it. 257-KDWN. Leo, welcome to the Heidi Harris Show.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Well, two things. One, I'm not going to talk about the legal right, whether it's a legal right or not a legal right. It's a question of, is it a good idea?
Right.
And the reason that I think it's not, and I'm a big supporter of concealed carry, but when let's say you're in a bank making a bank deposit and two guys come in to rob it, they see you have a gun, you're getting two in the back of the head. Automatically, you're the one that's going to die. Even if they didn't plan on killing anybody, they're going to assume you're a cop or, hey, you're just armed.
Yeah, let me let the guys answer that, because I asked them that during the break, and I think it's a legitimate question. You're in a restaurant, the guy comes in to rob it. If you're openly carrying, you're the first guy he's going to go for. Tim, go ahead and respond to that.
Good morning, Leo. Yeah, I understand where you're going with that, and it's a legitimate concern, but you have to recognize that with the advantage that you lose there, you also gain an advantage. Right, especially here in a state where concealed weapon licenses are issued pretty freely. A bank robber or someone who's going to go out and do a robbery like that has to consider the fact that someone in that store might be concealed carry. The fact that he sees a gun actually adds an advantage, if you will, because it's a deterrent. It's just like if there's a police car parked out front or someone's eating, or a police officer's eating lunch, beside you. It's far less likely that store is going to be robbed while you're in it. Maybe they're going to wait for you to leave.
The difference is, though, if I'm at the ATM, I'm at the register, they come in to rob the place. They don't see that I have a gun. Keep in mind, most criminals are not geniuses, because if they were, they would be doing something else, making more money. That's kind of like that. What was that book where drug dealers make so much money? Why do they live with their moms? They're not the most brilliant people, so they're going to come in there. This is a robbery. Then as you turn around, going, "Oh shit." Oh, sorry. They're gonna, they're gonna see, oh, gun, bang. It just, I don't see a benefit. And a lot of people that open carry, they look like crap. I remember I was in a doctor's office, and this guy comes in. He looked like he spent a ton of time in jail.
Hey, he could have been an undercover narcotics cop. Come on now.
No, this guy was nuts. He had a pit bull on a chain.
Oh boy.
He was about 5 feet tall. Had a gun sticking out of his pants, and I actually reached for my concealed weapon because you know what? That just didn't look right.
Yeah. So what happened with the guy, real quick?
He just was there trying to impress people.
Oh, geez.
That was his doctor's office.
Let's see, that's a problem. I know some doctor's offices won't let you go. I got to get other calls, but thank you for the call, Leo. 257-KDWN. Dwayne, welcome to the Heidi Harris Show.
Hey, Heidi.
Hi.
I've called in before, and I usually agree with you. And I know these guys. I belong to their website, too. You know, there's a couple things going on here. Number one, it is a right, but it's also a choice. And where you choose not to because you don't see the validity in it in this day and age, I actually carry a gun with me at all times in my truck because I'm a business owner. I will carry thousands and thousands of dollars to and from the bank as part of doing my business because my business requires me to go into some pretty bad parts of town to help people at their houses. I actually have a fear for my life because I might be there at 3 o'clock in the morning when the crackheads and gangbangers are there.
Yeah, I think it's important. Sure, for you, of course. I mean, and listen, anybody can do it if they want to. I wouldn't criticize somebody for doing it. I mean,
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with you. It is a personal choice. It's a right for everybody, and it's a personal choice. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. As far as talking to the cops goes, you know, you're right. When an officer pulls up, it's always good to be polite, be congenial, and be respectful. I think what the guys are saying, though, is you can't just pull me over just because I have a gun. That's kind of like saying, well, I'm going to pull you over because I think your car's red. I mean, they got to have a little bit more.
Well,
than
that's
that. And I do agree with that. They need to have a little more than just the gun.
Yeah, that's a legitimate question. I got to get out the calls, but thank you, Dwayne. And of course, you guys told me during the break, I'd never an open carry because I thought, I don't want to look like a boy, but you said it's very hot when a chick does that.
Absolutely.
So
Very much.
perhaps I could use all the help I can get. Really? You guys, all guys in the studio are going, yeah. Really? It's hot to open carry? Absolutely. All right. Well, then I'm starting open carrying then. I can use all the help. 257-KDW, and that'll be my big thing. Ray, welcome to the Heidi Harris Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I just want to say, you know what, Heidi, you are correct in your thinking. You're doing what I do all the time, and it's called wargaming. You're trying to consider what's going to happen to me if I do A, B, C.
Right.
I also want to applaud the two guests you have. You know what, I carry concealed and also open carry. I was telling your call screener, I don't want to bring race into it, but it does add a bit of it ups the ante just a little bit. I was telling them I started carrying open carry in Reno, Nevada, 2001, and I've had zero problems all the way up until today. I mean, I haven't had any problems at all. I think it's the attitude of the southern cops as opposed to the ones in the north because, I mean, I've had rookies, everybody. If I had one officer actually take the gun and unload it and go, well, how do you use this? I mean, this is a great gun. I want to get it for my wife. That kind of thing. So I really just think it's an attitude thing with the police in Vegas.
So you now people should know. My screen says you're black, right? So you say it levels the playing field. How so when you open carry in a good way or a bad way?
Oh, no. It doesn't level it. It ups the ante just a little bit because if somebody's going to call on me, the cops are going to come screaming around the corner, black man with a gun. And I've had it happen to me once before in a casino parking lot. And I just got to tell you, I mean, it was over in seconds. They pull up, open carry. Okay, this guy's good. He's great. He's got a concealed carry with permit.
Okay, wait. Back up now. So somebody called black man with a gun. Like an old Richard Pryor routine, right? So they pull up. So they
exactly like that.
Black man's killing a white woman. Yeah, we all remember that routine. Anyway, okay, so they pull up and they ask you what, Ray?
They pull up and they go, okay, they ask, hey, what's your name? What you doing? At the time I was a dancer in a show at a magic show that was in the Reno Hilton. And I started carrying because, hey, guess what? They're not going to fight the MMA guy who just lost the fight coming out in the parking lot with his cash winnings, but they're definitely going to fight this dancer who's walking around with his cash. So I thought, okay, I'm going to start carrying. So anyway, I get the same call that one of your guests got. Someone just sees me walking through the parking lot with my cash in my hand, going to my car, and sure enough, the police pull up, boom, before I can even get the key in the lock. And the first question they ask me, what's your name? I go, my name is Ray. What are you doing here? I work in the magic show as a dancer. And I got to tell you, it stopped them all cold.
So you had no problem. You had no problem telling them. You didn't bother you that they ask you a question. That's what I'd be like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I do. I got a big mouth on the radio. I need a gun. They'd say, okay, we get it. And they'd leave me alone.
Right, and that's what I wanted to compliment you on because if even the police here, if they didn't stop me or at least say a couple of words, I wouldn't feel too great about those police officers. I know it's not their right or anything like that, but they are just doing their job. Now, anything further than that, yeah, you get into a gray area. But, yeah, if they do not stop you for even a second and say, hey, you got a permit for that? And you say yes, and they just keep walking?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to do that.
I understand. Okay, Ray, I'm glad you called. I'm up against a break. I loved your story. We'll talk more about it when we come back. Appreciate the call. We were laughing about Richard Pryor, you and me, right?
You're welcome.
That was a great routine. I love that album. All right, we'll come back in a minute. I'm Heidi Harris, 257 KDWN. Richard Pryor used to do a routine. He goes, you can't get an ambulance in the hood. Unless you call and say, it's a black man killing a white woman. So I cleaned that up for the air. Okay, never mind. Ray knew what I was talking about. I'm Heidi Harris, coming right back.